Emmanuel Acho was talking on Speak for Yourself on Fox Sports about Baker Mayfield and what he's seen so far.
Of all the national media members, maybe me and Orlovsky ride harder for Baker Mayfield than anybody else. I do it with, Colin's show preceding ours and some of the Baker slander that just kind of infiltrates and migrates over to this set. I shake off the Baker slander.
Dog, stay slim on him. Stay on him.
Baker, that dude.
Don't do that.
But as it stands right now, I need to see more from Baker if I am going to believe that they are going to go far. Can I go to the big board?
You gotta go to the big board. I just saw you get skinny.
Can we go to the big board?
Get skinny up there.
Let me go to the big board, man. Y'all know we gotta go. Let me just break this down for y'all, big dogs. I look at the AFC in tiers. I'm only going to talk about two tiers because I'm only going to talk about the good teams, the really competent teams. And let's start last year. Last year we knew what it was. The Chiefs, head and shoulders above everybody else, and they was up there with your Bills. Your Bills was doing their thing last year.
Right.
But outside of that, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Titans, Colts. For me, it was any given Sunday, really, with them dogs. That whole second tier, they were going to fight each other. But we knew who the top tier was. Okay, this year, Baker, can you get into that top tier for me? Please, can you please? And I just don't see it, Sel. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, I think they jumped up, you know what I'm saying, trying to get into that top tier. I understand they lost to the Raiders, which is why I put the Raiders now in the second tier. Man, I had to get the Colts up out of there. But the Titans, Steelers, Browns, Bills, now, to me, they're in that second tier. Until Baker can do like Lamar and get his team into that next tier, I just don't see the Browns being able to get to a Super Bowl. Can they win a playoff game? Yes. Can they get to an AFC Championship game? Maybe. But I'm going back to the desk because I don't see it.
All right, let's bring in Mac Robinson from 92.3 The Fan. And Mac, the curve on that's pretty steep. It's a grading curve because he's talking about getting to the Super Bowl. So when you put it in that context, I get where he's going. We need to see some of the late game stuff from Baker, and we need to see it against better teams.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Dave. And I look at with Baker specifically, you can lean on the running game, and that's where a lot of these national pundits will kind of lean towards and really look at. Obviously, you have Kareem Hunt, you have Nick Chubb. So, there's no reason not to. But at the same time, when it comes to Baker Mayfield, you do need to see a little bit when it comes to that. And look, you know this as well as anybody when it comes to me. I love Baker, and I love his game. Specifically, but he does need to maybe take it up to that next level. But at the same time too, you need to see more from the wide receivers too. I understand Jarvis, he ended up getting hurt. You're going to have Odell coming back this week probably, it looks like. But at the same time, you need to see more out of those receivers in the receiving game. But yeah, I do think that Baker needs to take his game up a notch there. You saw it in week 1 against Kansas City. Outside of that last drive, I thought that he really looked excellent, really put himself in that upper echelon of quarterbacks. But at the same time, you do need to see that down the stretch. I think that is a fair criticism for him as of right now. And the one difference that I would say between him and Lamar, where Emmanuel Acho was bringing up how Baker needs to take his game to that Lamar level. Lamar, at least, he has that dual threat where even when his arm isn't necessarily at his best, and really it was in that game against Kansas City, but even when it's not, you still have to worry about the ground game when it comes to him and him having to take off. Baker has that a little bit, but he obviously nowhere near the level that we see from a Lamar Jackson. So I look at Baker Mayfield. Is it a fair criticism to say that he needs to take his game to that next level? Yes. But at the same time, I also think that it's a little unfair comparing him to the Pat Mahomes and comparing him to Lamar Jackson when they have that added mobility in their game compared to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is give him some more opportunities. Let's see. I would not discount Baker Mayfield based on what I've seen so far this year. I think he's poised to take the step that all Browns fans and the local folks seem to think he's on track to do as well.